All right, guys, welcome to the Studio 134 podcast. I'm Alec, this is Anthony, and this week we are talking about following Jesus and what that looks like. Previous weeks we've been talking about what is love and how to have faith instead of fear. And so the idea is that these all kind of flow into each other and help you discover what it looks like to follow Jesus and to have a life that is Christ-centered and honoring to Him, and helps improve your life. So let's just get right to it. So,
Sure.
Anthony, we're going into this series of following Jesus. Like, what does that look like to you? What does that look like in your life?
So to follow Jesus, I think for me, like the first thing I thought about, like thinking about all this, like this talk, was just like, the Word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me to John 15, and it says, this is my command, that you love another as I love you, that there's no greater love than to lay down your life for another. And it's like, I don't know, there's so many people that like reflected that onto me, like before I was like following Jesus, right? So like, I was like, dang, like, why do these people love me so much? You know what I mean? Like, why do they care for me? Or like, why do they go out of their way? And we don't even really know each other. They just show that love. And so like, I wanted like some of that too, like I wanted that change, and then come to find out it was Jesus,
Yeah.
But that's what comes to my mind, though.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Right on.
For real.
Yeah, He definitely changes us for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, that's what comes to my mind, though.
That's
when I
awesome.
think about that. Yeah.
Very cool.
For sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about like your story? Like, what was your life like before you found Jesus? How did you find Jesus?
Okay.
Why did you decide to follow Him?
Yeah, so I've probably been saved for like at least 6 years or so, 7. But I mean, when I found Jesus, like my wife was telling me, to come to church, and at first, I really didn't want to, but like I ended up going little by little, and like I said, people there would just show me love, and like they would just, I don't know, just care for me and just pray for me and ask me like just, a lot as being men, like a lot of people don't talk about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
And I used to get those questions, and like as being a young man, we never used to have those conversations, and it was awesome to have those conversations and to be able to be transparent with someone and open up with them,
Yeah.
And so after doing that, like I had this deep conversation with God one day, and like I used to, be involved in gangs and drugs, and like I just got tired of it one day, and I was just like, dang, God, like why do I depend on this stuff more? I depend on this stuff more than you, And like I'm like kind of like, if you're real, like take it from me, like just honestly, like God, like if you take it from me, like I'll be, like you're with me, I'll be with you, like, I'll lay down my life, I'll surrender myself, And I've been going on 7 years sober. I haven't stopped gangbanging, like just all that. So, and it's been cool because I've been able to talk with a lot of youth and even men, about my story and about, because a lot of people think there's not a way out,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, because addiction's rough, and I'm
It
like,
is.
yo, like there's a way, and He's the way. Like, just pick up your cross, But yeah, that's a little bit of my story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So so in giving your life to Jesus and pursuing Him, He helped you out of that lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like no cravings.
Wow.
Like, and it's crazy because like telling my friends this, who I thought were my friends, like I lost a lot of friends over it.
Yeah.
And which is okay because I gained a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, but just trying to be there for the community and our youth, and trying to reflect that, you know what I mean, what I got, to give to others too. And yeah, most definitely.
And it's crazy, like, what being around the right people can do for you.
Yeah.
Being around the right influences
Yeah,
versus
right.
like, there are people who, they might be your friends, but
Yeah.
they really have your best interest in mind.
Yeah, for real.
It's crazy how much of a difference that can make.
No, absolutely. And I feel like when things come, like, like when stuff hits the fan, and it's like those so-called friends, they're never really around. But like, I noticed as a Christian, like when you're going through it, you have a lot of brothers and sisters that are there for you, and that'll lift you up in prayer, or like you know, it was hard, especially being a man, to be transparent with another man, you know, and tell him like what I'm going through and like these are my struggles, you know, and for them to hear me out, you know, it's awesome. Like
Yeah.
it's not like oh you're a punk, you know, and don't talk about your feelings, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man, like let those things out, you know. Don't bottle them in, like don't hold them in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, talking about your feelings and your struggles and
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on, like bringing that stuff out in the open.
Yeah, it feels so
really
good, you know what I
helps.
mean? And especially like overall, like not just like between me and you, but like you know, with him, you know, and like to give him those burdens, and like it feels much better. Like you know, as the days go on, you know, like it just feels lighter, you know,
Yeah.
just to get that off your chest and like to be able to talk about it instead of just holding it in and just keeping it in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your life has definitely changed
Yeah.
pretty incredibly from that. What was it in the moment that like made that decision look worth it to you, like in the moment? Because sometimes it's hard to leave an old lifestyle
Yeah.
behind.
I don't know. I think one thing that really added to it was, you know, my kids, and like also like growing up without a father, you know, and like I don't know, like my dad didn't grow up without a dad, so it was like that generational curse, you know.
Yeah.
And I really was pushing forward to it. Like I just heard that voice in my head, and I knew it was God, and it was telling me like, let's break this generational curse, you know, and like let's stand up for your family, like. And I was like kind of teaching myself to be a dad on the way, because I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know how to be a dad, like I didn't
Yeah.
have a dad, like. So it was interesting, and like just seeking guidance from God was like the best guidance I could have ever asked for. So like deciding to follow him was like it's not just me, it's my whole family, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and from, you know, 7-8 years ago when I accepted Christ, like, dude, my life's been such a blessing. Like even the downs though, you know, like not just, I'm not talking about just the ups, like even when you're in the valley, like when you know you're having those bad days or bad weeks, like I still praise God even in the storm, you know. It's like I know he got me like all the time. It's just about having that faith, you know. And it's like it doesn't matter about the size of faith, you know. It says you can just have that mustard seed, and like, you know, he got you, and he got my family. So yeah, that's what stuck out to me the most, was just like breaking that generational curse though, was like
Yeah.
a big goal of mine, and being there for my kids, you know, just showing them like kind of like I don't know how I would put it, like if it's like I don't want to say like a real father, but like just like someone they can, like a spiritual, you know, somewhere in that aspect. But yeah.
That's cool. Would you say you feel like you're able to love your kids and love your family better because of Jesus than you would have been without him?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like a lot of distractions were in my life too, you know, like with the gangs and like putting all my attention into that, or like with drugs and like spending money where I wasn't supposed to, you know, and like being places where I wasn't supposed to, you know, risking my freedom. And like to think of it like if like I had an enemy, if they were to like, you know, if they were to like hurt me or something, or come after my kids, you know, like that affects us all, you know. Like if I were to go to prison, like I would have just been that generational curse all over again. So it's like I think it was like a big change in my life, like absolutely, like especially as being a father, like it just changed my whole life, like in my kids' lives too. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, for real.
How do you see God like in your everyday life now? What does that look like?
I don't, like, I see God like, I don't know, I don't think of it as like a religion. I think of it as like a relationship, right? So
Yeah.
like, I think of it as like just like my father. Like, I have these basic conversations with him, and like let him know, like in the morning or like afternoon, whenever it is, whenever I just feel it on my heart to like speak to him, you know, and just let him know, you know, this is what I'm going through. This is how I feel, you know, like, or this is how like one of the youths is feeling, you know, like just praying for the youth, or just like, but just having that basic conversation. And I mean, he's just like my world. I mean, like I just look to him for everything, honestly.
That's awesome. Do you feel like he responds to you and talks back to you when you do ask him for things?
Sometimes, yeah, like sometimes it's silent, and like And that's when it's like tough, you know, because it's like, like, where you at, like, why are you so quiet? Like,
Right.
I don't understand what's going on. And I think that's like a phase of my life that I went through.
Yeah, I guess for like, especially people who aren't following God and who don't have a relationship with Him, like, what advice do you have for people who would fall into that category? Especially if it's like, I'm scared of religion, or religion is dumb, or like wherever people might be at, like, because you're right, it's not a religion, it is a relationship. Like, how, what advice would you have for people who are maybe on the fence of like, okay, what is this Jesus thing?
I would have to say, like, first off, like, I wouldn't want to press, Jesus on them. Like, I don't want to, like,
Absolutely.
And like, I noticed that, like, because at first, like I said, like, when I was a baby Christian, so I guess this is a good example, like, of being a baby Christian. Like, I would want everyone to be saved, I would want my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, like, my best friends, like, I would like talk to them about Jesus, and like, they weren't like receiving it the way I did, and it's like, it's tough, and it's like, why don't you want this, like, what? And they're like, I mean, some of them have bad experiences, like, with religion, and like, some Christians are mean, like, and so like, but it's not for all of us. Like, all of us aren't mean, but some of them portray us like to be that certain way, or to be real judgmental,
Right.
And like, because I mean, I guess that's the way I felt at first, was like, I didn't want to go to church because, like, I felt like people were like, oh, look at him, like, he does drugs and blah blah blah, and why would Jesus want to save him, and it's like I feel like a lot of people think that, and then some people just don't want it, and like they're just okay with just the way they're living, I guess, and but first off, I just wouldn't want to push it on them, but I mean, I like to build a relationship with that person, and
Absolutely.
then like, just see what's in their heart, and like allow them to open up, and then like, let them know how I battled with those same, depressions, anxiety, addiction, like how, God really like just changed my heart, obviously, like, just he, my heart was hardened and he softened it, and like, that's the way I would go into, like, trying to reach someone, for Jesus. But and I think that's like with the baby Christian, and like, I would always like push on someone and like, oh, come on, like,
Yeah.
But then like, I noticed God was like, hey, it's not on your time, it's on my time. And
Right.
it's like,
It is.
and that's that maturity where it's just like, okay, like, you gotta like just step back and just let God, mold that person, and just let him do him, and just, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying for sure. Like, it is definitely on God's time, and it's our job to show people how Christ loves us,
for sure,
just through the way that we can love them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like, for people, like kids who come to Higher Grounds or the Refuge, who are like, all right, I've heard of this Jesus dude, like, I'm kind of curious, but like, I don't know, like, what's my next step with that? Like, what would you tell
and honestly
them? Like,
and honestly, there's a lot of kids that actually have told me that, and it's like, it makes me think, because I'm like, dang, how did I start, and it's like, how did I go about this? And it's like, honestly, I just opened this book and I just started reading, and like, even with prayer, I was like, how do you pray? Like, I don't know how to pray, that's a big question, like, everyone asks, like,
it is.
And I've noticed it's just like how me and you are talking right now, like, that's a prayer right there, like, just have a decent, like, normal conversation with them, like, God, what's up, like, I'm feeling kind of down today, like, I need your strength, like, help me out, like, or just anything, like, oh, this person's going through this, God, like, will you help protect their family, give them patience, relief, or whatever it is that they need. And it's like, I would say, honestly, just starting off is just like seeking him, just learning how to talk to him, just reading your word, and I mean, most of all, just loving, like showing that love, and just like it says in the Bible, you lay down your life for another, and just do things that you would like. Sometimes, like, there's like an example would be like, there's a brother that works here, and it's like, I noticed that he gives away like expensive Jordans, and it's like, like, I know for like a person that's just like, some people, that's a lot to them, that's like, that's worth a lot to them, or it's like a good possession, and it's like, for someone just to be like, here, like, I got you, like, don't worry about it, And it's not like about the money or nothing. It's just like just the love in itself. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no way. Like, you don't even know them, And it's like, dude, that's love. Like,
Totally.
that's cool. But
What has Jesus been teaching you lately? Like in just the day to day?
yeah, man, he's been teaching me so much. Like, being a youth leader here, and then like, kind of a youth pastor at my church. It's just that maturity and the growth, and just like being into ministry and like just being able to carry the youth, like the kids, as burdens, and just being able for like allowing them, let them know that they can trust me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of youth that tell you some deep stories and some stuff that's like dark, and like it's like they don't want nobody to know, and it's like being able to hold those burdens in my heart and give them to take them to the altar and give them to God, and like I mean, it's just like he's just like growing my heart and just allowing me to love every single kid that comes to me with any single situation, and it's like there's some pretty rough ones, and it's like but like I know I gotta lay down my life for them, and just show them that love, and just be there for them, be a leader to them. Like I don't think no one else has really been, or if they're seeking someone like that in their life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's it for this week, guys. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Have a good one.